Welcome to Simple Investing Secrets. In this video, we're going to review 6 top dividend mutual funds to buy now. So before we start, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for weekly updates. Let's get started. Even though exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are becoming more popular, investors still look for other ways to diversify their portfolios and get a steady income, like the 6 monthly dividend mutual funds we'll review in this video. Still, investors need to look at more than just the yield, because high yields on their own can be misleading. A fast drop in the share price before a dividend cut or elimination could cause the dividend yield to be high. Before deciding which dividend-paying mutual funds to add to their investment portfolio, investors must look at more metrics. Investors can use the total return over a certain period to make sure that a mutual fund or other security pays out capital gains and dividends. As long as the total return over the desired time period is higher than the dividend yield over the same time period, the equity will have positive capital gains, and it is worth looking into further. The following mutual funds made the list because they have low expense ratios and pay a consistent monthly dividend that has weathered the recent financial crisis. Number 6. JP Morgan Income Fund Class I, ticker, JMSIX. Dividend yield, 4.2%. JMSIX is a taxable bond mutual fund that invests opportunistically in a wide range of debt securities that have a high chance of producing attractive risk-adjusted income and low correlations with each other. The fund tracks the Bloomberg Barclays U.S. Aggregate Index as its benchmark. The fund utilizes a flexible approach, allowing allocation shifts based on changing market conditions. The fund mostly buys U.S. bonds, which make up the vast majority of its holdings. These bonds are split primarily between agency MBS, 14.4%, asset-backed securities -16.8%, CMBS -24.9%, and corporate high yield, 28.3%. The rest of the investment is split between cash, investment-grade corporate debt, EMD/USD debt, and non-agency mortgage-backed securities. JMSIX is currently paying out a monthly dividend of $0.039, which correlates to an annual payout of $0.468 and a dividend yield of 4.2%. The current stock price of JMSIX is $8.26 as of November 2022, with a net expense ratio of 0.42%. The stock price is in line with the recent trend, as the price has been in the $9 range for the past 5 years. Dividend distributions and asset appreciation have combined over the past 5 years to deliver a return of 14.6%. Number 5. Columbia Multi-Asset Income Fund Class A, ticker, CLNAX. Dividend yield, 4.2%. CLNAX is a mutual fund that invests in a variety of income-generating asset classes. Because it is an asset allocation fund, it has multiple sources of revenue and returns. The fund responds to changes in the market to try to get the best returns while reducing volatility and risk of loss. Equity-linked notes, high-yield corporate bonds, and U.S. Treasuries make up the bulk of the fund's assets. The total net worth held by CLNAX is $164 million. The remaining 45% of the funds are split between cash, stocks, preferred stocks, convertible bonds, and bonds, with more than half of that amount invested in bonds. Although the fund is well diversified, financial services, real estate, healthcare, and technology are the sectors that weigh the most heavily. CLNAX started paying out a dividend every month when it started in March 2015, and it has done so every month since then. The current price per share of CLNAX is $9.75 as of November 11, 2022, which is in line with the 5-year trend that the fund price has followed. The price fell to a low point of $7.59 in March 2020 at the height of the financial crisis, but has since recovered to land back in its consistent $9 range. Number 4. BlackRock Dynamic High Income Fund Class A, ticker, BDHAX. Dividend yield, 5.6%. The BlackRock fund has more investments in fixed income asset classes than its benchmark indices, which are mostly made up of stocks. BlackRock holds more than 14% of its total assets in the non-US fixed income category, where there is the biggest difference. The BlackRock fund holds more than 75% of its holdings in North American securities. With almost 8% of assets, emerging markets are the second highest segment. The remaining assets of the fund, or about 5% of them, are cash. The fund's monthly payout is equal to an annual payout of 51 cents, which is the same as a dividend yield of 5.6%. In addition to monthly dividends, the fund's total returns over the past 5 years have been 12.8%. Since a drop in price during the pandemic and the turbulent economic times that followed, the price has been steadily increasing to reach the current level. Number 3. Victory Floating Rate Fund Class Y, ticker, RSFYX. Dividend yield, 4.6%. The investment seeks to provide a high level of current income. The fund usually puts at least 80% of its assets into loans with changing interest rates and other types of investments with changing interest rates. RSFYX currently has nearly $2 billion in net assets. Most of this huge portfolio is in U.S. bonds, which make up 94.4% of the asset allocation. The remaining 6.6% is invested entirely in non-U.S. bonds. These bonds come from many different industries, and none of them make up more than 25% of the fund's holdings. The fund pays out a dividend of 4 cents each month, which adds up to 47 cents per year. This correlates to a current dividend yield of 4.6%. In addition to a reliable monthly dividend payout, the fund has returned 14.7% returns over the last 5 years. The mutual fund is currently trading at $8.29 as of November 2022, which is lower than the high $9 range that the fund has been in for the past 5 years. Now that the price of RSFYX shares is a little low, it might be a good idea to buy them because they might give you a better return. Number 2. Barings Emerging Markets Debt Blended Total Return Fund Class Y, ticker, BXEYX. Dividend yield, 7.9%. The fund buys debt securities, derivatives, and other financial instruments that are tied to the economies of countries with emerging markets. Under normal market conditions, the fund will invest at least 80% of its net assets in securities, fixed income securities, or debt instruments of emerging market countries. The fund seeks to achieve the maximum total return for its investors. Most of the fund's $67 million in holdings are invested in non-U.S. bonds. BXEYX has a unique way of investing in fixed income assets from other countries. They bet against U.S. bonds. As a result, the fund's information sheet will show it has 163.6% of its assets are invested in non-U.S. bonds and 71.7% invested in U.S. bonds. At the moment, BXEYX pays a dividend of 4 cents per month, which comes out to 48 cents per year. This results in a dividend yield for the fund of 7.9%. While impressive, the yield is slightly inflated because of the fund's recent decline in share price over the past year. The price per share of BXEYX is currently $7.25 as of November 2022, which is considerably lower than its historical range. Its low share price makes the fund a risky investment that could pay off well. Number 1. PGIM High Yield Fund Class Z, ticker, PHYZX. Dividend yield, 6.28%. This mutual fund seeks to maximize current income by investing primarily in high-yield bonds. Capital growth is a secondary goal for the fund. The fund might be good for investors who are willing to take on more risk in exchange for a higher current income and the chance that their money will go up in value. The fund has a massive $20 billion in assets, nearly 80% of which are invested in U.S. bonds. The remaining investment is split mostly between non-U.S. bonds and cash. The fund has been paying a monthly dividend since 1996. The current monthly dividend payout of 3 cents results in an annual payout of 31 cents. The fund has given a steady monthly dividend and a total return of 16.7% over the past 5 years. The fund has typically hovered above the $5 range but has dropped by 9% in 2022. It currently trades at a discounted price. This concludes our list of the top 6 mutual funds with monthly dividends to buy in 2023. Which of these stocks would you like to add to your investment portfolio? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for the best stocks to buy and cutting-edge investment strategies for building wealth. Thanks for watching and happy investing.